On tonight's episode of the Warrior Shrine. Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's, yeah. And I think that's the most accurate reaction to everything that's going on right now. I mean, really, it sums it all up pretty well. What am I talking about? I'm talking about, obviously, Mr. Wizard and Evo and all the things that are, and how we treat one another in general.
Yeah, there might be a billion things that happened over the course. I'll let me rephrase that. A billion things we found out about over the course of the last 7 days, right?
So much has come to light, and none of it is like sick. You know, none of it's like awesome. Good news. There's no good news here, man.
None of it is the good sick. It's all the bad sick.
Yeah, it's the bad sick.
The terrible sick.
It's all the bad sick. To be clear, it's not the good sick. With me, obviously, is Tim, and it's just the two of us. Tim, where do you want to get started?
I think Wizard's probably the most logical starting point because I feel like that started the floodgate.
Yeah.
In a way it did, in a way it didn't, because there was the Wizard floodgate, but I feel like the Smash floodgate, I'm not 100% sure what lit that fuse and started that. They seem logically entangled, but I'm not super sure that was part of the same domino effect.
Yeah, that part, I was wondering about that myself, and I don't know.
But we found out things about Wizard. We found out that in the early 90s, he would make bets with kids to take their clothes off and give them tokens that they could stay in the pool water for more than 60 seconds. Which you really shouldn't do that with 12-year-old boys. Not good.
No.
And then we found out about he, paid a minor to expose himself to Wizard, and that was kind of the triggering effect. And that shit's all bad, but he's been expelled from EVO completely. Now, that's sort of a philosophical question of what that means, right? Because if he's no longer on the EVO staff and he's not on payroll, because he was the CEO, right?
He was, yeah.
Then what is the business relationship with him and the Cannons now? Because in theory, it's non-existent, but that I don't know. See, here's the thing: like, the Cannons put Wizard on administrative leave. Is it possible to do that to a CEO if you don't have a traditional board of executives? I'm not super sure how that works, but it's not really relevant anyway. So Wizard's gone. That was gross behavior, but it's about to get much worse.
It only gets worse.
So the guy who did the twit longer about Wizard was Crack Prawn. And then shortly after, someone did a twit longer on him. And we found out that he groomed, hit, and raped a girl himself, or did all this over the course of years. He would yell at her, wouldn't let her talk to other men. He would grope her, get on top of her when he was drunk and shit like that in hotel rooms. But he waited till her 18th birthday to have sex with her, and then text her saying, "Make sure you tell everyone that I didn't fuck you till you were 18." So that's really bad. All that stuff is super bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't know the name of the Smash player. I thought I did, but Aramon corrected me.
We're just knocking these out. Okay, listen,
No, it's a different sex abuse scandal. So there's some Smash player raped a 14-year-old kid he did commentary with. Bad, very bad stuff. Don't even want to think about it, but it happened.
Fuck. Just fuck.
So there's been about 60 sexual abuse allegations in the Smash community by itself, right?
Fuck.
Yeah, and Senpai groomed and performed oral sex on a 14-year-old boy, and she has now been removed from any sort of sponsorship opportunities, banned from all tournaments.
I don't know what groomed means when you say it, and I'm really afraid to ask, to be honest.
Groomed means... honestly, I don't know the textbook definition, but basically, you condition someone into a dangerous sexual situation over the course of a period of time.
Okay.
Like, the guy who was part of Tiger King, he was accused of grooming young straight men, who he later performed sexual acts on. I've never seen Tiger King, but I've seen the reviews of it, and that was a common accusation.
Okay. Okay.
So, Oh man, Zero was banned for sexually pursuing minors. Zero is one of the best Smash Wii U players of all time. And then we're just going to end it on Mewtwo King because I can't talk about this anymore. It's just taking
Yeah,
a toll.
it's been like 5 minutes, but
Yeah.
no, it's a dark 5 minutes.
I feel like I'm living that scene from Ant-Man where the guy's just telling Paul Rudd of all the shitty things that happened to him while he was in prison.
Oh God.
But Mewtwo King was falsely accused of sexual allegations. He was accused of ejaculating on a girl in a hotel at a tournament. Mewtwo King said this is not medically possible. He provided the documentation to prove that he was not a sexually functional human being. And I had to watch that video and I had to see him break down crying. And with that, there's a darker implication to this. Not only does someone falsely accuse him, but someone tried to target a person with a disability and who was diagnosed with Asperger's and tried to financially, in theory, financially compensate on that. That's awful. That's so bad. So
It is really, really fucked up. That's really fucked up.
researching this is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And I don't mean that emotionally. I mean, as a former journalist, this was so fucking difficult because there's so much literature. There were so many articles. There were so many, because a lot of the articles are duplicates from different periodicals, right?
Yes.
And and then when they make statements, that's a new article. When there's a counter statement on Twitter, that's an article. Once they get removed from their financial situation, that's an article. So just the mountain of Google that's out there. It was so hard to get information at some point. And yeah, everything's bad. But we can make it better now. Now that we know about it, we can improve things, right?
I mean, like, I hate this shit. I get that, and that sounds like a really dumb thing to say after all of that shit. But like, I really fucking hate this shit, and it makes me really, really, really thankful that I do have someone who's a little bit of a meat shield like you, who's willing to like read that shit and figure out what you need to in order, for us to talk about it here, because like. It's not that I'm like not willing to do it, whatever. I'm trying to wave it off, but like, it's just bad. It's nothing good. It's dark and it brings a evil asshole hole to your fucking soul. Hearing about this shit, it's awful. So yeah, that's why. Like, yeah, I'm very grateful to you, Tim.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. And
without that, yeah, like, I mean, I know the headlines. I've heard the shit, obviously, but like that's almost the extent of it. And I think about like someone's, man, do I want to click that? What? That happened? Well, wait a minute. Fuck. God damn it. Like, it's just a mess.
I think the allegation, it wasn't the worst of them, bad, but not the worst. But the one that kind of creeps me out the most is the Senpai one, because all I knew, I love Smash Brothers. Ultimate Smash is like one of my favorite modern fighting games, honestly. So when I was watching Evo Top 8 last year, she was the commentator, and I thought she did a really good job. I was like, okay, well, I look forward to seeing more of her in the future. Well, here we are, right? So that was like, man, it sucks, because like, if she had not done that, I mean, I don't even know why I say if. Like, it sucks that it happened. She shouldn't have done it, but just crazy. You see one person, and now the next thing you associate them with is this. So, and to answer Armand's question, do we think Nintendo will have anything to do with the FGC? Technically, they don't have anything to do with this now. Like, the relationship between Nintendo is with their own community in Smash is passive permission. They let them play the game, and they don't copyright strike the streams. That's currently the situation with Nintendo and their community. They never financially supported the Smash community. Not ever. Until they did something in Europe, but I don't know whatever became of that. So, a lot of people are saying, is the FGC going to die? I mean, if it does die, it'll probably be because of COVID. I don't think this is going to kill the FGC. I think COVID is going to kill the FGC. But if there was no COVID, would this kill the FGC? And I don't think so. I think from the molten ashes of this awful situation, some sort of weird phoenix is going to rise, But my worry is, what if that Phoenix is a sex offender, right? That's my concern. So how do we like make the Phoenix safe for everyone?
I
And my
mean,
only yeah,
no, go ahead, please.
my only solution is to make all tournaments 18 plus forever. The end. That's my solution. That's the only answer to any of this, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a, it's a hard, like, grown up, you know, thing to put forward there. It's not fun, but like, obviously, you know, a lot of people can't be trusted with fun, so we don't get to have fun. Fun's not.
I'm
something...
okay with no fun.
Yeah. Listen, yeah.
Like that's been my reputation really since high school. Like temp is no fun. Like
Boy, I could fucking.
I had the reputation of being the guy who wouldn't buy the keg for the party. That was my. I mean, everyone was still friends with me, regardless of that. God bless them. But I've never been like the guy who. I've never been the party guy, like ever. Like I'm hoping, if anything, if nothing else comes from this, people will just not. People won't touch other people without consent. That's really what I want from this: is people just to respect. Okay, that brings up another topic, right?
Oh God, yeah. Okay.
The reason why we can't immediately fix this is because the people who are doing this shit, maybe not all of them, I'm going to wager 80% of them, often have mental illnesses themselves. Like Sajam was talking about, I don't know which Smash player it was, but he was literally following women around openly in the public at a tournament. And Sajam had to confront him, and that guy ended up running to his esport connections and told on Sajam. And Sajam won that battle, thankfully, but for someone to openly stalk someone in a public venue like a creeper, generally those people have mental illnesses, just statistically. It's very rare for a mentally healthy person to do stuff like that. And I think sex abuse is very common among sociopaths. Like it's often the case. Like that's unfortunate, but like it's if someone has a mental illness, it's not as simple as punishing them and then telling them how the right way to proceed. You can't fix that, right? So, like, the expulsion's really the only answer. I mean, most of these people, I hope, go behind bars and never get out. Like, some of them maybe can be rehabilitated. The ones who didn't actually touch anyone, there may be hope that they can live a normal life and not do this shit anymore. But the ones who raped underage women and underage boys, no, they're not. If you're a sociopath, there's no fixing that. At least not without medication and heavy counseling, and there's no guarantee they're ever going to get that, right? So yeah, the just banishment, that's the only answer.
There's not a nice answer, and yeah, if there's if the only answers are no fun answers, then so be it. Yeah.
Pod actually just messaged me the Rivals Championship Series' code of conduct. I agree with all this. I think these are all good ideas. No alcohol, ever. Just no alcohol.
Okay.
Which, honestly, although I agree with 100%, when I went to EVO in 2012, I was drunk about I'd say 50% of the time. Oh. I would just get like a giant-ass case of beer and just carry that around with me at the hotel. I'd buy it from the store, yeah, because, I mean, it's just, like, back then, like, it was all open. You're just a dude in a hotel. I would take alcohol. I would go to the bar and I'd bring a drink into the venue all the time and watch games. I had a blast. So I'll be sad that that's gone, but it's for a good cause, right?
Yeah.
No pornographic clothing, accessories. Common sense, yes, 100% agree with that. As a matter of fact, I was probably the only guy who was pissed when Filipino man L.I. Joe got a Pornhub sponsorship. Wait, no, maybe it was YouPorn. I think it was YouPorn, but I really didn't like that. Jeez. And everyone else is like, LOL. I'm like, no, this is bad. I don't want to be associated. I don't want the things I love to be associated with this, right?
Yeah.
So, and there will be an active anonymous tip line. Good stuff. Yeah, I agree with all that. I think all that's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, and none of that sounds like anything like at all remotely to me like too strict or too anything like that based on all this bullshit, because it's so much bullshit and it's bullshit. It's like just no, fuck off, fuck all this, fuck off. because it's really giving these video games a not so hot name. You know, and that's the part that really gets me pissed off about shit, because from the outside looking in, it's like, you know, tards are gonna fucking say the same shit they've always done since the beginning of forever, and just like, full fucking shut down video games. And it's like, no, shut down people with problems, and shut down assholes, and shut down predators, and all this bullshit. It's people, obviously, it's the problem. Yeah, big revelation. It usually is. But man, there's a lot of video games, and this year especially, there's a lot of video games that are paying the price for it. Like a fucking, because of COVID to begin with, and then because of all this shit, like it's just sorry, man. Video games are paying the price for everybody's bullshit. And if this stuff helps that, then absolutely. Yeah, because it's worth it. It would have been really fucking sick to see a Killer Instinct tournament at EVO this year. It would have been really, really sick to see that Marvel 2 tournament, to see the Skullgirls thing. Like, all of that. Just like I said, is paying the price for all of these people's bullshit. And that's not okay. That's not okay at all. And I haven't even really thought about it as much, because it's not an issue where this is concerned, but like this is a human issue. Like, you don't want fucking people victimizing other people, right? This should be obvious. It's not, clearly, but it should be. But on the, you know, the thought of like video games and whatnot, like as someone who is like quasi a fighting game developer myself, it's like, come on, man. I'm like, you know, I want to make games for people that love fighting games, but fighting games are just mixed in with all of this awful, terrible bullshit right now. And it you know, it kind of, to say the least, de-incentivizes it. But obviously I know that these people that we're referring to in these situations that we're referring to, they aren't fighting games. They aren't video games. But man, right now it's not a good vibe for any of that. And it's not a good look.
Well, speaking of not a good look, like, this is not fighting game news anymore. ESPN and other major like sports news outlets reported on this, so
yeah,
this is the only exposure some people may ever get to the FGC, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
No, so whether the fighting game community will die or not, I mean, if it dies, it dies, right? But
well, I mean,
I don't think
that goes
happen.
into. Well, no, I was just gonna say that goes into this other thing where it's like, well, what is the fighting game community, right? Like, you know, if like, is this going to kill the fighting game community? And the answer is, well, no. I feel like it can only do that if it kills fighting games. And no, it can't kill fighting games, but it can definitely hurt the fun of them big time. And it could take a while to rebuild it. But that's better than, you know, people being victimized.
Well, let's say we don't rebuild it. What then? You know, I still don't think that's the worst case scenario, because what'll happen is if all the grassroots tournaments dies, right? Like, it's just going to become a labyrinth of discords. I don't know if that's the worst thing. I think the most fun I've ever had in the fighting game community is on Discord with my friends, and I think if that's what the fighting game like community evolves into, then to me that's more so the spirit of the community than anything. Like, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I don't disagree, and that's what I mean whenever I'm talking about, like, it makes you have to like redefine like what is the fighting game community. And yeah, I think that those things, like you said, Discords and playing with your friends and more grassroots things and locally and whatnot, like, is EVO the fighting game community? Fuck no, it's not. But that part is not going to go away. That part where you're playing with video games with your friends and enjoying these games. No, that's not going to go away. And it might get restructured and it might change a little bit. Fighting games and esports might take a giant hit and might, be the death of this. Might be the death of that fighting game and esports. But to me, that's not what FGC means. But FGC is a term that fucking people use for a lot of things. And a lot of times, FGC and that shit, like esportsy bullshit, like they get synonymized. And I don't feel that way.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I haven't even been inside the fighting game community for like 3 or 4 years. Actually, longer than that, pretty much 5 years since I've actually played locals in San Antonio. And I eventually just decided I'm not going back. Not because I thought the community was bad, just because I don't know. I think the goals I had in my local community, I just kind of stopped caring about. And thankfully, I never saw anything like this in the San Antonio community. But that doesn't mean it wasn't there. I will say the women I encountered in the San Antonio fighting game community had nothing but love for the San Antonio fighting game community. They had nothing bad to say about it. Now, I did not meet all the women, but the ones I did, they did not mention anything like this to me. So I'm grateful that I was in a community.
Tim met all the women.
Yeah. Well, there was like 3 of them, right? So.
So you did meet all the women.
I think so. There may have been a 4th.
Okay.
Yeah, just. I still stand by my solution of no one under the age of 18 at fighting game tournaments. Now, granted, these tournaments take place in hotels. You can't ban, minors from the hotel itself.
Well, no.
So they're going to find ways in the hotel rooms. They're going to find ways to bring in alcohol. But at the very least, we can get... Because another thing you need to remember about Smash is that these players are in a much bigger community. They're like celebrities. Like, Justin Wong is big in our community. But Justin Wong doesn't sit at a booth and sign autographs for over an hour. That is actually a thing in the Smash community.
Yeah.
They have that sort of fandom. We don't really have that in the Street Fighter community. Daigo might have a book signing. That's about as grand as it gets, right? So, yeah. So, my prayers out to all the victims, including Mewtwo King. I think what that woman did to Mewtwo King was not just cruel, but it hurt all the other victims who did have valid testimonies. Like, that was just the worst. I can't. Anyone who picks on the mentally disabled is not good in my book. That is super fucked up.
Yeah, that's really, really fucked up.
Yeah, just
that's next level fucked up. And I mean, like, this shit, it's not fun to think about, but like a lot of people, because of the way that these conversations are going, it's like, oh, fuck, the FGC or whatever competitive fighting game, esports or whatever is is playing host or encouraging these sorts of things, and this stuff is happening all over the place always anyway. This stuff is going on a lot. The thing that happens in situations like these is that since people are already talking and there's a community going on and there's a lot of communication happening, then these things start coming up to the surface and you hear about them. And sometimes it takes a long time, and sometimes it's a fucking landslide, like it was with the past week or so with all of this shit. But this shit's going on all the time, everywhere, in any kind of community that you want to go along with. It sucks in this one because video games do have like a connection to younger people, just as far as like perception and targeting and marketing and whatnot. But like that's because that's a weird thing too, because video games are like for everybody, right? Like, I mean, I don't know how many little kids are playing Last of Us 2, probably a lot, but like
yeah, quite a few. Probably way more kids playing Last of Us 2 than any fighting game probably on shelves right now. So,
well, I mean, yeah, definitely. There's like some little kid out there who's like, buy me, XR. Like, maybe, sort of. I'm not one of those kids.
I do want to comment real quick on the chat. People are
Sure.
suggesting having kids be accompanied by a guardian as a solution. My problem with that solution is, what if the parent is a pedophile? Then the kid slash player becomes a proxy for dangerous activity. That's my only concern about that, right? Um, I'd like to believe most of the people out there are not pedophiles or sexual abusers. Because I would like to believe most of the people I know are not sex abusers. Now, one of them I did find, there is someone in my life I found out was a sex abuser. But even though I didn't know he was a sex abuser, like, once I found out, like, I'm like, okay, well, this guy's always been an asshole. He's always had signs of instability. He's always had a temper. And he's always had sort of an eccentricity that made me uncomfortable. So that made sense. But because I don't see that in other people, I hope no one I know in my real life isn't like that. But it only takes one parent to become sort of like, it just opens a portal to bad shit. You can't know every parent is. You can't even know every parent's a guardian. Are you going to get paperwork from every potential like accompaniment to find out they're the legal guard? It's a mess. I
I
don't
mean,
think
if
that
that's the case, though, then like that kid's with a guardian that's a pedophile, with or without the, the deal with these events, and the event actually might be an opportunity for that shit to get found out, which is a good thing for the kid in question. I don't
maybe.
know. It's a fucking mess, though. Like it's all a mess. It's a mess either way.
At
And
least with my solution, I know if the pedophile goes to the tournament, he'll be disappointed because there's no kids. At least that's the case with my solution, right?
I mean,
Granted, like I said, it's a hotel, right? You can't just keep all the kids out of the hotel, but at least out of the tournament venue, I would hope that's the case.
it's a mess. I don't know.
Yeah, my heart goes out to all the victims. That's all I can really say. If the FGC burns to the ground, I have my friends in the discords, and I have other discords I can go to play other fighting games, right? So, like, this is all we need left is good netcode. That's all we need left, and I don't even need a low. I would like to have like tournaments to watch. Like, I know there's a little bit of a debate, Evo versus Combo Breaker in the chat, but to me, Evo Sunday Grand Finals is my favorite day of the year, more than any holiday. I am super religious, but I look forward to Evo way more than I look forward to Christmas, right? I'll be
Yeah.
sad if I never get to see a Sunday Evo ever again. That would just make me like, I can't even describe how depressed I get when the Street Fighter V Grand Finals, or in this case, the Smash Grand Finals, closes the night, and then the staff roll begins. There's this unbelievable depression I experience. I can't even explain it.
I
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I was looking forward to Evo so much this year, especially this year, right? Because of all the COVID stuff. Like I was just I was so looking forward to just being able to watch that shit and being able to watch, especially with all the craziness that happened with the mix-ups and the change-ups with, like I said, Killer Instinct and Skullgirls and all that shit going on. Like that was gonna be great. I was looking forward to that. And yeah, that'll be sad if stuff like that can't happen, or like whatever. But it can. Like it definitely can if people want it to, and it will. Um, Life will find a way, right?
and if it doesn't, that's okay. That is okay.
But I think
Um,
it probably will. Unfortunately, like, for better or for worse, that's just the way that shit works out. But like, I mean, Combo Breaker even, like, yeah, Django wanted Sub to win Evo, says Pot. I didn't want Sub to win Evo, because Sub's not gonna win Evo. But I just wanted to watch. I wanted to just, like, be able to, like, kind of take a break from all the other bullshit that's gone on this year. There's been no shortage of it. And just watch some fucking fighting games. And some interesting ones that I haven't gotten to see for a while. Which is, not Mortal Kombat 11. That just would have been really, really, really great. But here we are.
yeah, I just you know, speaking of dark subjects, when the mass shootings became known in the media, like, if there's any benefit that came from that, it's that security skyrocketed for tournaments, right? Just went way up in quality.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, I could be wrong about this, but since then there has been no gun violence at any tournament. Or I don't know if any major venue has actually had gun violence on like a mass murder scale that I know of, right? So that's good. That's a good that can come out of a tragedy, right? So, frankly, honestly, I don't have anything more to say about this. Like, did you have any final thoughts, man?
No, I think that's all there is to say about it. Fuck.
Well,
fuck.
Yeah, fuck indeed, but the Jackie ban.
Jackie. Banned from what?
Well, I think Russia was the first region to ban Jackie.
Okay.
And I don't know if that stuck or not.
Okay. I mean, does Russia have a big MK11 scene?
Well, they do actually. They do have a lot. There's a big MK11 base in Russia, but it just started a discussion that started to permeate all communities, and it's like, should Jackie be banned from all tournaments? Like, is this going to be good for the game? Is this going to be bad for the game? And I mean, not obviously. Most cases, I'm not for a ban. This is not an exception. I wouldn't support this ban, but I think the phenomenon of people wanting to ban a character is very interesting to me because it says a lot about the community. It says a fuck ton about the game, right?
It might say something about fucking people's like, well, I mean, we can cancel all this other shit. Why can't we cancel characters? I mean, maybe, dude, and it's like, people just, there's this long ass history of people not wanting, like, listen, Tom Brady, you can't listen to him, like, 100% seriously, right? But there's some stuff that he says that's okay. And part of that is, like, a lot of people just don't want to deal with shit. I don't think Jackie should be banned. I've hated Jackie for 2 games in a row now. Hate that character. Hate that character so fucking much, it's dumb. Hate that character. She is trash. On every level of a fucking... Listen, I'm not making any friends here. I know. There's Jackie fans everywhere. There's Jackie fans talking shit in the chat right now. But I don't like Jackie. I've always hated that character. But in MK11 right now, like, no, she shouldn't be banned.
Well, it's important to say why she shouldn't be banned. I don't think she shouldn't be banned because the character's fair. The character's ridiculous. The character's insane. Like, it's always been a pain point for me when people try to tell me MK11's balance. No, I should clarify, this is upgraded Jackie, by the way. So she basically has Blue Beetle pressure and mix-ups, but way better. And better damage. So you just have to block forever until you can guess your way out. And I get why people want to ban that, but...
Blue Beetle? Who's Blue Beetle?
I know, right?
Forever
some character in some fighting game.
Jesus.
So, to me, like, the reason I don't want to ban her is just because I think... I don't... First of all, it creates a chain reaction. It's like, who's next on the cutting board, right?
It is, yeah.
But I do think the fact that people want to ban her is a symptom of a bigger problem, and that's people don't like the game. When people liked MK9, so usually conversations about banning Cabal got quelched fairly quickly. That is not really the case here. People really have it out for this character, and I think that's just because the game is limited as it is. It's just a killjoy. Like, this character kills all hype for the game, in my opinion. So I don't think she should be banned, but I think the fact that people want to ban her is a symptom of where our community is at. And frankly, some of the arguments people give against banning her are dumb. Even though I do not want to ban her myself, like, there are good reasons. What's up?
What's an example of a dumb reason not to ban her?
Because our community will look like a joke. That's a dumb reason not to ban Jackie.
That's a dumb reason.
First of all, we're already a joke.
Yeah, we're already a joke.
We're already a punchline. No one takes another community seriously on, like, I wouldn't say the Stream Monster level, but, like, among, like, shitty Capcom players and shitty, like, that everyone talks shit about us. We're already the dumb kid in the corner of the room, right? But more importantly, when other communities have asked for a ban, they weren't made fun of if they were justified. Kokonoi and BlazBlue, no one really made fun of that community. Like, Kokonoi was fucked up. And that's another reason, like, it is possible if we don't ban Jackie, the game may die. My response to that is the game may die anyway if we do ban her. Like that's no one knows what will happen, but banning is such a dramatic approach. It's a solution I only approach as a last resort, and as bad as she is, she still technically plays MK11, even if you don't like MK11, which I think is really what's going on here. People hate playing the game and they want to make the game funner, and this is how they're going about it.
Which is fine, like, but that's like a whole different conversation. That's like, listen, don't talk about Jackie. She's trash, but she's not like, bro. But the game itself, like, yeah, there's a lot of things you can talk about with the actual game itself. A lot of things, and Mortal Kombat 9 didn't really have that problem, which is probably why these two situations feel so different. Mortal Kombat 9 was fucking fun. It was fun to watch and fun to play. And Mortal Kombat 11, I have fun playing it. But it's not that fun to watch. It's really not that fun to watch. Armand said that Injustice 2 was more fun to watch than Mortal Kombat 11.
I disagree with... Well, they're both bad, but I disagree with that.
I think I would have to agree with Armand.
By J2.
But, like, still, that's not a great. If it's like, if it's close enough to think about, then, like, there's a conversation to be had there. The game... Wait! Armand says... No.
Exclamation point.
Point. But the point is, like, Mortal Kombat 9 has other stuff going for it that it was like, whatever. Cabal is fucking crazy, and fucking Cyrax has infinites. Sonya, and Jax, huh? Like, but everybody is fun, so everybody fucking played it.
Well, that's half the reason. There's another reason, though. The thing is, in the first 2 years of Mortal Kombat 9, we knew Cabal was super good. We didn't really know how good he was till the very end. Cyrax probably would have been banned if the Cyrax players were able to play a set without dropping all their combos. That's the real reason Cyrax never got banned. It's because the Cyrax players were trash. That's what was really going on, right? We didn't understand the implications of Cabal's armored dash cancel. We didn't quite understand what that was capable of until really the third season of MK9, right? So I think had we known earlier what Cabal was capable of, maybe the conversation would have been taken a little more seriously. But I think another reason why people want to ban Jackie is because the development team just outright refuses to balance her. They refuse to do anything about this character. So it's almost like a middle finger to the development team saying, hey, if you're not going to balance your game, we will. And yeah, if there was a mod to make Jackie fair, I would absolutely endorse that. But like I said, I just don't think banning is the solution, because if you want to ban a character, the real solution is to play a better video game. That's my opinion.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely that'll work too. If you don't want to fight Jackie, don't play MK11.
I mean, I'm frustrated too. I'm upset that they will not balance that character. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. But it just is what it is. And honestly, if they did balance her, I still wouldn't like the game. So that's why I'm not on a crusade over here. Like, I still have too many problems with the game where if you fix two of them, it wouldn't be enough for me. So, like, play Guilty Gear. That's my advice. Or Granblue's got a decent netcode for delay base. That's the solution, right? But I think it says a lot about our community and just how unhappy they are. But I get really upset when people say, oh, of course NetherRealm community wants to ban shit. No, that's not fair. Like, Jackie is a problem. Like, just because we threw out the word ban, that's another reason why the whole, like, joke argument is bullshit to me. Because once the word ban gets uttered, it's over. They already think we're a joke, right?
We are a joke.
And I get tired of the flawless block defense as well. That gets on my nerves so much. But I don't know if that's here or there.
Yeah,
but I think flawless block has also become sort of an inflamed issue for me, because every time someone complains about the amount of execution in MK11, someone says, "But flawless block, bro." Yes, flawless block has some execution, and when you pull it off, it actually is very fun. But you can't put a game's execution barrier tangled between two correct guesses, right? So I have to get the flawless block, I have to guess what they're going to do. And once I guess right, if I want to capitalize on it, I have to guess whether they're going to use breaker or not, and then decide if I'm going to use an armor breaker or not. I just, oh man, I hate that argument. You can't put your execution behind that dumb of a situational wall, right? So I don't know. Why? I would say why do you think they won't balance Jackie, but what's your perception of the community? Because the MK community to me seems pissed. They seem unhappy. They seem bitter. What's your perspective?
Everyone seems unhappy and bitter this year. Like, I don't fucking know how to tell, like, where one, feeling is, or like one feeling about something, one like frustration, one whatever about one issue stops, and the next feeling about the next issue starts. It all kind of like flows into each other this year, and everybody's just pissed, and everything's fuck. But I mean, I don't fucking know. I don't think that anybody is I don't know. I don't like saying things that are like big blanket statements or whatnot. To me, it feels like people aren't as happy with Mortal Kombat 11 at this point as they were with either MK9 or MKX. And by this point, I was still also having a lot of fun with Injustice 2, but a lot of people had jumped off by then as well. I don't know what the deal is with Mortal Kombat 11, but I do feel it. I do feel the thing that I think a lot of people feel disgruntled about. I'm still someone who, like I said, I do have fun with the game, but I don't play it anywhere near as much as I did the ones that came before it, especially after this point in its lifetime. I think it's and I don't know if that's the game, the development, like maybe that shit fucking going on politically with the development because of all the stuff that we've heard about and seems to be going on between NRS and Warner Brothers. There could be a lot of stuff there, a lot of shit going on there that kind of I could easily see putting a damper on development, or just hurting things, like de-incentivizing a lot of things, or flat out fucking crunching it, making things like so much harder to do. But that's all, wrapped up in a bunch of hearsay and conjecture. We'll see how that shakes out.
People do want us to talk about the potential WB buyout, but
I mean, yeah, like that's a big fucking deal. It's like as a, we're a fucking podcast on the Nethercast channel. We talk about NRS games quite a bit, especially Mortal Kombat, and that's a big deal. That's a big potential shift in the Mortal Kombat legacy, to be honest. Yeah, it's an important thing.
This may come to as a disappointment to our listeners, but the truth is, I don't know if I have any comment on it. I don't know enough, right? So if EA buys out Mortal Kombat, I wouldn't be happy about it, but there's so little we know about what they would do, and we have so little control over the situation that I hate Warner Brothers. So if it stays with Warner Brothers, that's not a win in my opinion.
That's definitely, yeah. If nothing else, I can chime in with you there.
So I know people want to talk about the buyout, but I may leave that to our other Nethercast brethren because they probably have more to say. If Sony buys Mortal Kombat, which I don't think they will, I don't have enough data to know how that would possibly look. So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, all I have to say about it, honestly, especially where this is concerned in fighting games, Mortal Kombat fighting games are concerned, is that if NRS are in the position right now of having to make games that they don't want to make, then I hope that they don't have to make them. I want them to get out of that situation. I don't want them to make the games that they want to make. And it doesn't matter who's making them. If it is Warner Brothers, doing that now, which is incredibly possible, or if they do get picked up by someone else who makes them do that, then that's equally not awesome at all. And if someone else does pick up NetherRealm Studios without Mortal Kombat, like the license, because the IP belongs to Warner Brothers, but but NRS as a studio could get sold. Then that's a whole other situation. But like, yeah, the bottom line is just if they don't want to make Mortal Kombat or Injustice 3 or whatever, I don't want them having to make games that they don't want to make, because that's not going to make really, really great products. I don't think that's how their best games have come about.
I mean, isn't that Razor's whole thesis, though? Is that the reason Mortal Kombat hasn't been good in so long is because the people making it are just so not invested in the project?
I mean, it could be. It definitely could be. I think...
It seems to be that way. Like, the original creators can't even be bothered to write the story. They bring in other people to do that now. That says a lot to me.
And I mean, after fucking, 25 years, 20 years, however long it's been, I mean, I don't blame them. It's like, I've been doing this shit straight. Like, Ed's been doing this shit straight for that long. Like, yeah, if he's just like, listen, man, what is there to say about Fatals, bro, that I haven't said a billion times over? But these games keep selling like tits. So he's gone from Midway, whom we know is like, no, you guys are the Mortal Kombat factory, to Warner Brothers, whom we know you guys are the Mortal Kombat factory. So that's not a great situation if he's not feeling super, super inspired. I read something else recently, something else that he was doing, some interview somewhere or whatever, where he said a similar thing. He's like, well, like, it just sounded like he was talking about Injustice. He's like, well, we made Injustice 1, which sold really well, and we made Injustice 2, which sold really, really, really well, so, like, there's obligations that go along with that and shit like that. He said something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing, but, like, again, that kind of just further sounds more like what we're saying here about, like, if they are in a position to where they're making games that they don't necessarily feel inspired and passionate about making, then you don't want them to make those games. Let somebody else make those games.
I worry about the somebody else as well, because even though Ed Boon has shit all over the 3D era, at least he knows what the 3D era is. I'm afraid if you give it, Mortal Kombat to a new team, like, they wouldn't even look into the 2004, 2002 releases of Mortal Kombat.
I don't know, man.
They would just dismiss it entirely. That's my only worry about that.
I don't know. There's a lot of weirdos like you out there, believe it or not. You're out there, and, like, you've grown up with the fucking thing. Same as me. I bought and played all of those fucking games, too. Like, there's a lot of people that have done that out there. And there's a lot of people that like those games that talk about that shit. And they like those games in ways that, Ed and a lot of those from the beginning guys probably don't. They see those people that have played those games growing up see things that those guys on the team don't. So I think there's a fine chance of that shit working out. Maybe there's definitely a bigger. I think there's a better, more interesting chance there than, like I said, just forcing NRS to, like, beat a dead horse. They don't feel anything. Like, they don't feel, like, inspired to do. They don't have, like, great, sick new ideas that they're excited to go to work to do. I think that the other chance is there, but I mean, it's a gamble either way, I guess.
Well, maybe that's what the next project is. Ed Boon said the next project is neither Mortal Kombat nor Injustice 3, and that's probably what's going on. Ed Boon was finally like, "Yo, we want to do something else, right?" So, and then he finally just kept campaigned long enough until he got what he wanted. That's a theory. I don't know if that's actually true, but
I don't know. But that thing that Dr. Meta in the chat said is a very true point. I don't see Warner Brothers re-releasing any of the old shit in any capacity that's worth mentioning or at all. But if something does play out, and I am not at all convinced that it will at all, but if something does play out where Warner Brothers ends up without the Mortal Kombat IP and it's sold to someone else, then almost any other games publisher besides Warner Brothers would stand a much bigger chance of re-releasing those old games. So much bigger. Like, and when I'm talking about those old games, the 3D era too, but I'm also talking about fucking, like, Shaolin Monks, just re-releasing that shit on consoles that can, like, fucking play it without it looking like dog shit. And there's so much shit like that I'm not just talking about the job that I was trying to get there, that Warner Brothers is not interested in making whatsoever and is shut down time and time again. But like Shaolin Monks and obviously MKHD like are getting propositioned to Warner Brothers all the time and have been for years now, and Warner Brothers is like, just fuck off. No, we're not interested. That would be like something really exciting I see coming out of Mortal Kombat, the IP getting sold to another games company, but that's all still conjecture. That's still hella conjecture. That's still hella hearsay. We'll like what's for sale and what's not for sale, if something's for sale, whatever. We'll see when that shit happens.
Go on.
No, that's it. That's all.
Well, that's kind of all for me too. Honestly, it's not a subject I have a terribly large interest in. The only thing I really ever wanted is a not even a remaster, but a remake of MK9. Just let Iron Galaxy rebuild the game without
remake.
The bugs.
Yeah.
Which I don't think would be hard. Like that game doesn't have that many. Well, there's story modes. Well, anyway, but
yeah.
To tie it back to MK11 and why I think the Jackie ban has become such an issue is just because, like I think our community is in a bad spot, but I don't think it's in the worst spot. I think Injustice 2 was technically worse because not only were people really unhappy with the game, but that's when TYM still had quite an umbrella of influence over the MK community, and there was this culture of fake positivity culture that drove me nuts, right? And when Injustice finally got like shut out from Evo, or when it only had like 300 entrants, people accused the MK community of being programmed. No, that game just, man, Injustice 2, watching you guys play that game was miserable, because if y'all want to know why I won't play that game again, it's because gimmicks are very powerful. There's a million of them, and the game is designed where movement is very restrictive, and the mid-range is based on shitty guessing games. Kind of sounds like another game I'm thinking of, by the way. That's a joke. I'm talking about MK11. Just heavy guessing game bullshit. And it just, on top of learning the gimmicks, even if you know what the gimmicks are, there's so many situations where you just feel like you can't move in Injustice. I don't want to go back to that, right?
I don't feel that way at all about Injustice, especially Injustice 2. I think Injustice 2, like, man, when I just, especially that day we played both, and I jumped from Injustice 2 to MK11, I was like, God damn, I have so much freedom in Injustice 2. This is sick. I was doing whatever the fuck I wanted to do, and it was tight. But man,
I saw what you wanted to do, because I was watching that stream, and for me, from my perspective, it looks like Robin couldn't do anything without making the stupidest commitment on Earth. And if that commitment didn't work out, Robin got fucked. That's the way it looks like.
Well, that might have been a little bit me.
No, I don't think it was. I think that's everyone who plays the shitty mid-range in that game.
Dude, I don't know. I feel pretty differently about Injustice 2 than you do, but...
Well, even if you get the right read on what they're going to do, like, let's say you end up trying to, whiff punish something, or you try to get them to press buttons and they do, they have an armor move at their disposal at any time. So even if you had the proper footsies, you can still get blown up because they had a borrowed meter. I hate that about Injustice, right? So...
Fighting Grodd is fun. Grodd's crazy. Grodd is so
Grodd's another
crazy.
one. Like, we never saw like final form Grodd, in my opinion.
We didn't
Had
see
that game
final
lasted
form
longer, Grodd would have been ridiculous.
In this game, Mortal Kombat 11 didn't even fuck with anything like remotely like a Grodd. It was like, fuck that. What's a Grodd? This is not.
Also, there's a problem with punish windows in both MK11 and Injustice. I don't understand why they made punish windows so small in the last 3 games they made. Like, Bane has a negative 22 move that I can't punish in Injustice. Like, in MK11, we played on stream today, like, if I blocked Jade's shadow kick, I had to guess if Jade was going to EX or not, otherwise I didn't get the punish if I guessed wrong. Or worse, I got hit if I guessed wrong, right? So, that I don't know when they adopted that philosophy. I do not feel like that was a problem in MK9. Or even really in just Injustice 1, really, but... Okay, so that covers all my thoughts. I think our community is just bitter, and I think they're taking it out on Jackie. And I think the only solution is to play. If they're not going to balance their game, and you want a more balanced game, the answer is to move on. That's my... Don't ban anyone. Because if someone does like Jackie, it's not their fault that you don't like the game. Yeah.
Question time. Toasty! Do you think... Oh, shit. We got to follow. And I missed it. FGC Kiala Clutches follow. What's up, Kiala? I know you. GG's. Armand asked, do you guys think any of the big fighting game publishers will ever make a new version of their older and not as popular IPs like Darkstalkers, Last Blade, Rival Skulls, or make a new fighting game not based on an existing IP?
I would say the big problem is there's so many fighting games out there right now. The only way you can convince someone to play your fighting game is if it's a recognizable IP.
Yeah.
I think it's very difficult to sell someone a new fighting game in this day and age, right? So, and I think even developers who have older loved IPs are more invested in expanding the ones that are currently on shelves. I think that is a bigger moneymaker right now. I don't think Darkstalkers is going to sell as well as anyone would hope it would, right? So, Rival Schools, again, that might as well be a new fighting game because most people do not know about Rival Schools, right? So, I think even if you brought them back, I don't know if it would be a good thing for the franchise. I think it would get drowned out, right? So, yeah, I don't think there's much hope to bring back old franchises right now. Maybe later, but the genre as a whole, it's hard for people to stay long term. And that's what Mortal Kombat 11 is all about, is just trying to get people to log in every single day. The game is designed just to do that, right? So I don't think anyone's going to take a chance on a Rival Schools or a new Last Blade. Although I've said that about SNK, and somehow we got a new Samurai Showdown. I didn't think that would ever happen. I thought they'd put all their eggs in King of Fighters, right? But that wasn't the case.
I mean, and hopefully they made a little bit of money off that. I mean, I bought Sam Show. I barely touched that game, but I did buy it just because, good shit. It's fucking Sam Show. But no, you're right. Like, there's so much competition right now that, like, there's so much competition and so little people playing, so few people playing, and this is a small fucking community that plays fighting games. That, like, obviously the best strat is recognizability to deal with that competition. And that's why you have IPs and IPs and IPs. Be that like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or, Pokemon, like whatever. Like, big fucking Injustice, right? So, yeah, that's kind of the deal. Unfortunately.
We'll see, though. I think out of all the ones you mentioned, Darkstalkers has the best chance, and that's because Morgan has been surfing on the Marvel vs. franchise.
Oh, God, for how long?
So it'd be the Morgan game, right?
The Morgan game.
I think fan service also goes a long way with
Morgan Stalkers. There's a lot of them out there. Morgan Stalkers 3, 4, 6, whatever they're on. I don't know. 1.
I mean, I know the fan service has been a contentious point for fighting games, but honestly, like, Street Fighter V probably financially survived because of Chun-Li costumes. That's not an exaggeration. Like, fan service, in a way, kind of saved that game, for better or worse.
So, yeah. It was good. No, it's a good question. And it's a sad question. Yeah, maybe someday things will be cooler, and you're right, Darkstalkers will be tight. I agree. Okay.
It's hard to be disappointed when something like Strive is on the horizon, though. Like, I'm so excited for Guilty Gear
Strive. He is so excited for Strive. Temp is really excited for Strive. And I'm excited that you're excited.
I want you to be excited, too, but I know that's a hard sell.
It's so hard for me. I'm a bigot, dude. I've tried. I've watched a trailer.
One of my friends is a Guilty Gear player. Yeah, I don't know, man. I once said that if Django picked up a new fighting game and it ended up being Samurai Showdown, I would be sad. I mostly retract that statement. I think it'd be worth it.
I didn't know you ever said that.
Yeah, I was in the gameplay chat like days ago. But I think honestly Sam Show's gonna be better than 99% of the shit that you can find in NetherRealm games right now. I'd be happy to play you in Sam Show any day at this point, especially now that I kind of like the game. I found a character that I'm interested in.
I don't necessarily disagree with you. I'd like to play it more. I don't have anything against Sam Show. I fucking own it. I should play it. But yeah, thanks for the question, Armand.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
Savitar asked, man, you motherfucker. Do you guys think there's any room in MK11 for one-off or novelty skins. Arnie, it feels like particularly with Arnie, it feels like we need another celebrity skin to balance it out. Maybe for, I don't know, Cassie. And Premier skin, guest skin, which would fit Cassie. Taylor Swift bullshit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a Taylor
Yeah.
Swift troll at this point. So,
and again, like I will answer this question again. Absolutely, put a Taylor Swift Cassie skin in the game so I can do fatalities on Taylor Swift all day long. Cool.
it would be funny because unless you told people it was a Taylor Swift skin, like people would not even know it's Taylor Swift.
You're right, they wouldn't.
It looked like Cassie in street clothes, so it like wouldn't even make a difference. But to answer the question sincerely, I think novelty skins tend to make your game. It waters down your aesthetic, right?
It can. In NRS case, it has. That's definitely a thing. A lot of people don't like that DJ skin, right?
I like it for all the wrong reasons, right? So.
I mean, that's why I like it. I think it's hilarious and awkward, but that makes it funny.
The first time I heard it's like looking in a mirror, I was giggling for like the next 12 hours. I could not get over that.
It's kind of tight in a stupid way.
Yeah, it's also harmless, right? So,
and I mean, we were talking about it during the break. During like, you love that fucking shitty Sub-Zero in Injustice, that one that you had, and I don't know, yellow DJ Sub fits that pretty well. It's so ugly. Yeah. It's so distracting. I guess thanks for the question, Savitar.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Charybdis.
Randy asks, for the Shrine, obviously. It's the most overrated fighting game of all time. What's the most underrated? What was our answer for this one?
Mine was CVS 2, followed by Alpha 2. But CVS 2, I think, is the most overrated fighting game. Still probably a good game, but it's broken as fuck. And there's no easy way to play it. And I'm convinced that a lot of people who do like it don't play it at a high level. So that's my choice.
God, I feel like I jumped on your bandwagon because I was thinking of the same thing. CVS 2. But I think I switched to Smash Brothers.
And I once again disagree with that. I think Smash Ultimate. I think the movement is very good. I think in most of the Smash games, movement is very interesting. I think it's unbelievably balanced for how many characters it has. I think there's a lot of stylistic choice. And it honestly, if you want like good single player content, or really just good multiplayer content, like 2v2 is amazing. It's a blast. So yeah, just a lot of great design philosophy and a lot of variety and a lot of balance for the roster, at least compared to the roster size. I still disagree with that.
I don't think I'm not saying it's a bad one. Just for right now, I'll say that I actually don't think it's a bad. I'm not saying it's a bad fighting game at all, remotely. That's all. Did you have one for underrated?
Most underrated? Oh, I imagine that's fucking tough in my opinion because like
I felt like you said Skullgirls or something.
Yeah, Skullgirls probably is the most underrated, but at the same time though, like you have to rate it aesthetically versus gameplay, right? I think Skullgirls, what makes it so brilliant is that's an unbelievably open system. But I played a lot more Skullgirls since I said that. So I don't know if I feel the same way. Given how difficult the game is and how open it is, I think it makes room for a lot of stuff I don't like about fighting games. But yeah, I guess I'll say Skullgirls nonetheless, because I still think there's a lot of brilliant design philosophy in Skullgirls.
I would have to say Killer Instinct, I think. KI3. A lot of people rate it highly, sorta, but I don't think it ever really got to where it should.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of the underrated games are not really underrated at all. They're just underplayed, right? So,
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I'm basing it on. For lack of better data, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I'll stick with Skullgirls.
Thanks, Randy. Kiala asked, since there are potential news that we may not be getting another Mortal Kombat or Injustice game, what new game should come out that can maybe stray Mortal Kombat 11 players away? What could possibly be a Mortal Kombat 11 killer? No shade to MK11. Thoughts on MK becoming a 3D style fighter again? Well, that right there. Those two. I don't know really the first one what could pull people away from being a Mortal Kombat killer, and I don't think that if NRS was going to do that, I don't think they would make a third fighting game IP right now. But I definitely would, and I've said this before, I don't at all want Mortal Kombat becoming a 3D style fighter again, and if it does, it shouldn't be like a numbered Mortal Kombat. It should be like Mortal Kombat 12, because that's dumb. It should be like Mortal Kombat Side-Ho, Mortal Kombat Side-Ho 2, like a different offshoot of the franchise. That's not a numbered entry. If they want to do the 3D thing again, but I don't think that they will. I don't see that happening, and I don't think it should happen for Mortal Kombat at all. Tip?
I think the MK11 thing, I mostly agree with you. Right now, like, the player base is already struggling, so I don't even think you need another NRS game to pull people away from MK11. I think people are just drifting on their own accord. I think you don't need an MK11 killer because it's already on life support, as far as I'm concerned. And COVID has a lot to do with that, too. A lot of that's not even the community's fault, right?
Yeah.
My problem with MK being a 3D fighter is that you lose the best things about MK9, assuming we're using MK9 as our ideal Mortal Kombat fighter. The charged mid-range of, like, dashing down 4 versus jab anti-air, that dynamic, it's gone. Like, you can't have good jump-ins in a 3D fighter just because there's too much freedom of mobility, right? I've never seen jump-ins done well in a 3D fighter ever. If there's a pro, I would say the pro might be that you might get some new interesting styles. I think grappling would become a lot more interesting in a 3D context. I think staggers, which are already good right now, would be even better in a 3D context because jump-ins aren't good anymore. So your staggers, now your new way to check the opponent. Besides fighting games, what other video games do you consider really damn good at? No, it depends on what he means by this. Like, what games do I consider myself really damn good at? Or which games do I consider really damn good?
I would think that it's the first one. Which ones you are really damn good at that are not fighting games?
I'm exceptionally good at Mega Man X. Like, I am so good at that game, I actually invented a new way to hold a controller so I can dash jump easier. I actually do, like, the weird eagle claw thing when I play that game.
You do it claw style?
Well, not really claw style, because claw style implies 2 fingers. What I do is I keep my thumb on the bottom left button, and I use my thumb for the top left button as well, and I use the side of my index finger to dash. So that way I can hold charge on the top left button, use the bottom pad of my thumb to jump, and then I use the side of my right index finger to dash, so I have all capabilities. And it hurts after an extended period of time, but it made charging, dashing, and mobility just a lot easier. I consider myself, at least at my peak, very good at that game.
I mean, it's funny because, like, I would say pretty much something similar. Like, 2D platformers in general are kind of my jam. Way more so than certainly way more so than fighting games, because I am not really damn good at fighting games by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, whenever I'm like fucking on and got my shit going in a 2D platformer, I'm in there. Man, fucking Mega Man 11 is so much fun. I always fucking forget about that game, and then I see it on my PlayStation. I'm like, damn, that's a really fucking fun game, and that's a really fun game to get good at. Which is also why it's really fucking fun.
I see why you like it, but I don't feel like the synergy between platforming and combat is as good as it is. That's really what I love about Mega Man X is it's the approach of offense versus navigation, right? And doing that as fast as you possibly can, as efficiently as you can. Well, Mega Man 11 is still very much a platformer at heart, right?
It is.
Mega
Yeah,
Man
you're
X
right.
is not really about the platforming so much that you can pretty much scale walls without any completely risk free, right? So that's kind of why I wasn't terribly into it when I saw you play it.
That yeah, they're definitely not the same type of thing. They got big differences. Um, but there are some similarities too. There's some overlap in there. Fucking doing like a when to fucking crash. Man, that game is sick, but it is really fucking different than MKX. I mean that Mega Man X. Mega Man X is fucking tight too. Um, Mega Man 9 was super hype. Mega Man 9? Okay, you're not saying my number 9. Okay, that's good.
I think he was saying that.
You're not saying my number 9. There's no
Oh
way.
no, no, Mega Man 9. No, Mega Man 9. You're right.
Okay, yeah, fucking damn. No one's ever said that. Also, I'm fucking amazing at Bloodborne. Period. Bloodborne God. I'm better than everyone else in the fucking Discord. I don't care what they say. Um, that answers that question.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Cal.
Thanks, Kiala. Kiala asks if NRS decided to not do an MK and give it to another developer. Well, we've kind of talked about this, haven't we?
Yeah, I said Lab Zero.
Yeah.
Lab Zero for sure. Just because I think they have. I think every character is going to come out winning if they do that. It's going to be a win for all characters if they go Lab Zero.
Explain should be the next cover rivalry of the next Mortal Kombat game. He would want Smoke versus Rain, which is brave. I don't know. I want Goro versus somebody. I don't really care who though. Goro or Liu and Shang. You can always do Liu and Shang. And I don't think that you've actually had that on like a cover art for anything of the games. So, do that. Do it. I'm gonna make that my answer.
I will say Noob Saibot and Smoke. That's who I would want.
Noob versus Smoke?
Yeah, that's the rivalry I would want for the next game.
Man. Okay. I mean, I'm in. I'm down. I'll watch that. I got my popcorn. I don't know, for the developer studio and whatnot. Yeah, we've talked about that a bunch. Yours is fine. I'll go with that and say, like, if it's MKHD, I'm gonna say the studio that I work with, obviously. But if it's not, if it's another thing, then there's a fucking there's a lot of them that I would think is interesting. But I'm gonna go with the one a lot of people would say, and that's Iron Galaxy. Just see what they would do. Fucking, and I know Keats would, man, make that shit so fucking nuts. But hey, do it. Let's see it. Let's find out. Thanks, Kiala.
Yeah, thanks for the question, dude.
Randy asks, since MK11 is a lost cause, name top 3 things you want or don't want in MK12, gameplay or otherwise. You can do this. We've been doing this all day.
Yeah, I mean, that one's easy for me. Nerf air normals, get rid of breaker, and bring back sophisticated combo construction. And, like, your gold. MK11 would be, like, the best Mortal Kombat ever if they did those three things right there. I mean, Fatal Blows would have to be next, obviously, but, like, that would make the game unbelievably better.
Okay, so what were those 3 things again?
Nerf air normals, which they should do that in MKX while they're at it. For MK12, nerf air normals, get rid of breaker, and make combo construction more sophisticated. I think that would make the game immediately better. I'll throw in, like, increased chip, bring back good chip damage. Like, that's one reason. We'll get to that in another question, because there was one question in the YouTube video that I wanted to address. But there's a lot of things you can do to make the game better. But those 3 things are top for sure.
For me, the top one is the combo construction thing. I think that needs to be a thing. Like, oh fuck, please give more ways to fucking come at the dude that I'm wanting to come at. Then just do that, okay? Period. And doing that alone it would make Mortal Kombat 11 so much better, so much better, so much more interesting. And besides that, the next two, I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of fucking easy ones. Get rid of Breakaway, whatever. But I feel like that one's obvious, right?
Well, they're all obvious.
They're all. I mean, yeah, they kind of should be. You would think, but you know, if they're that obvious, why aren't they there? More sophisticated combo construction, I agree with. That one would be my top one. Second one would be better feeling mobility options. I still don't feel like that's really a thing as much as I would like it to be compared to other Mortal Kombat games, other recent Mortal Kombat games, and Injustice 2. I feel like there's always like a pressure, like a limit, like someone holding you from doing things in Mortal Kombat 11, and that feeling is not fun. That it's bad. And the third one is to get rid of bullshit things that shut down gameplay, like Breakaway and Fatal Blows and other arbitrary, artificial devices the developers put in place, again, that feel like they're removing ways from you to play the game, and they're giving you ways to exit gameplay completely and just say, like, fuck whatever's going on right now, I don't want to play. Reset. That's bullshit. Get out of here. And things like Breakaways and Fatal Blows, and there's other shit in the game that are very much like that. That's all. Okay. I did answer those questions, right? Is that it? Wait, there's another part, isn't there? No, that was it. I think that was it. I'm gonna say that was it. Thank you, Randy. Sevatar. This guy. Since Randy's a lost cause, name the top 3 things you want in his replacement in the Discord. Play otherwise. I don't want to replace Randy. I love Randy.
Yeah, right. I like Randy. I don't really want to replace him.
Sick. Get fucked, Sevatar.
Thanks for the question, Sevatar.
Happy birthday. Chrome asked, what would be the plan for a Mortal Kombat game that could be potentially kept above the water like Street Fighter V, in your opinion? How would it work?
Now, that's an interesting phrasing, because I feel like...
Above the water?
The question's backwards. I feel like, what can Street Fighter do to be kept above the water like Mortal Kombat?
I mean, yeah, it depends on which way you're looking at it. Mortal Kombat and Injustice make god-tier money. This needs to be said. As much as we shit on these two games, and we have today, these two are fucking pulling down money. I'm not going to say like anything sexual whatsoever because of this episode today. They're just making a lot of fucking money. So they're doing a couple of things really, really, really right from one perspective, really fucking right. So, from that perspective, yeah, it is like which one's being kept above water more. But what were you saying?
Well, if he's talking about competitive, like in the competitive sense, like I would say the number one thing they could do is just like, I'd say balance their game is a big one. But like, I'd say give players good options in the game. Like that's one of my biggest problems with MK11 is just because you have so few viable options, every showdown eventually dilutes into a boring throw meta because chip damage has been reduced so much, because mix-ups, thankfully, have been reduced quite a bit. I think the way the game handles pokes is just not very open. So you make your game more sophisticated. Give players interesting options again. That's a big one. Also, there's ways they can incentivize, but they've done a lot already, too. I want to give them some credit. Like, improving their netcode was a beautiful step forward.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah.
But maybe in international competition, like, incentivize other communities to play the game. Now, I mean, obviously, we already have NRS international competition. We have England, Vienna. Like, there's a lot of international and NetherRealm community, like, competition. But, like, we don't have Capcom or ArcSys players coming into our community. Why is that? Find a way to incentivize those guys, right? Like that's, I think, a big way we can keep keep Mortal Kombat competitive with Street Fighter and the grassroots.
I mean, I don't even think that it sounds bad. I don't think that balance is that important. To doing what you're saying to do. I think balance is important, like generally, and obviously, ideally. But I don't think that balance is what's keeping it from being like a Street Fighter V or something like that. I think right now it's like, yeah, fucking like Mortal Kombat 11 specifically. Where's the incentive whenever your game boils down to like, both guys are on their knees having a slap fight? That's not fun, and that's dumb, right?
Even though Mortal Kombat 11 probably is the most balanced NetherRealm game ever made,
It is,
I think
probably.
the reason why the balance is the most problematic it's ever been is because characters are more limited than they've ever been. Like, you
Yeah.
feel like you can't do anything, you're locked down, right?
Yeah, like that's exactly what's fucking going on, and that's not appealing. So, if it's the other way around, you can do whatever you want, but your game's unbalanced. But like you can fucking have fun, and you can come at people and have interesting ways of approaching different situations and whatnot. And you're not two characters that's like right in front of each other on your knees having a slap fight. Like, it's fucking stupid. Like, stop that shit. And whatever. In Street Fighter V, I can get blown up for doing that, or I can blow someone else for doing that by doing like whatever, meeting with a heavy to get a counter crush or whatever. Give me that shit with my fucking Akuma, not Tatsu your ass. Watch out for my demon, it's coming. But like, still, you can do all that shit. There's none of that shit in Mortal Kombat. You can't do that shit. Just, think about these exchanges better and come up with more exchanges, more ways that things can happen instead of everything kind of like funneling down to these one or two things in Mortal Kombat 11, which is down ones and throws.
I think there's another good point brought up in the chat. Let us turn the blood off. Let us have a not like a code to turn off the blood, or a way to like turn off the gore. I think that would do wonders for the game.
Like, yeah, like you can do that there in like tournament mode, because they have a tournament mode now. Like in the game, you can set that shit up and you can turn off a bunch of different things in the game. But blood and shit in there.
Yeah, I think that does segment off a huge portion of the competitive audience, right? So, like, Mortal Kombat will never be on ESPN, right? So,
Yeah, I mean, but it's making a lot of fucking money.
yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Someone's happy. Warner Brothers is happy. I think it answers that question. Thanks, Chrome.
Appreciate it, Chrome. I'm always happy when the lore guys are listening. I
I am too. God damn it. We had that happen today. Well, sorta. Because Shad jumped in on that King of the Hill. Spoilers. Shad won the night.
Yeah.
It was pretty sick.
Shad performed very well. I was very happy for him. I knew he would, because he's been playing Mortal Kombat games forever. He knows what he's doing.
He does know what he's doing. And that
Like,
was
we
sick.
complain to the lore guys that, hey, even though we're gameplay guys, we know more than our share of lore, right? And that goes for them.
It goes both ways. It hella goes both ways. Fuck, dude. We all fucking came from the same fucking place, motherfuckers. Damn it. Anyway. Temp, is this your YouTube guy question?
This is one of them. There's another one that came later, but yeah, Henry Mayer asks, in all seriousness, how would you guys feel if Zebron became an NPC hitting character? And he is from the Dream Realm. He doesn't have to be taken as a joke, He could be from, I do not know how to pronounce that.
That DC guy,
Mr.
yeah.
Of the MK universe. I actually have always been for bringing Zebron into the lore. I don't like the idea of creating a fifth realm. I will say, although I guess Outworld is the fifth realm. Order, Chaos, Outworld, Earth. So yeah, I don't want to create an additional realm just for Zebron.
Chaos, Outworld, Earth. There's also the Nether Realm.
The Nether realm, yeah. So I guess this would be the sixth realm. I think Zebron is just fine as like a quirky ass character in the background. Like I think it's healthy for your story to have anomalies, right? Which is why I was always for Chameleon with a C. I always thought there was always room for that character, and there was interesting shit they could have done, right? But most people do not agree with me on that. But it's like Q. People love Q from Third Strike, and the reason is because at least till recently, he was a mystery. No one really knew what he was doing or why he was there, and there was a huge appeal to that. Chameleon is a character that only shows up during apocalyptic events, and no one knows why. And when the events resolve, Chameleon disappears. that mystery is interesting. If they capitalized on it, they could have a really cool character.
It
I
is.
think you could do something maybe a little less serious than that with Zebron. I think there is room for a Zebron character, but I would play it straight. I'd make him quirky and fun, but I wouldn't make him a joke.
Would you keep him in the tux?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And he would still be like, he looks like legit like a horse just walking on his hind legs.
I mean, I'm always for like Tom Bombadil type characters. I think Lord of the Rings, I think Tolkien was very smart to put that in a story. I feel like most stories would benefit from having something like that in their story because it shows a different aspect of the world. It adds, it's free death. It's death without cost to the main storyline, right?
Okay, you're not talking about like a Kentaro situation though.
No, I wouldn't say Kentaro. Like the reason I say Bombadil is because Bombadil doesn't actually relate to anything directly to the plot of Lord of the Rings, other than he's like a hotel room for the characters until they move on. But he says a lot about the world in the chapter he's in. So I think stuff like that is important. I feel like that's the approach they should have taken.
Okay.
With Chameleons.
Okay. I mean, I'm in. I'm fine with Zebron. He looks classy. I like. He has. If I recall correctly, he had a cane. I mean,
Yeah,
I
you can.
I like that shit. That shit. I'm into that. So I'm fine with it. Why not? The dream, the dream realm or whatever. Like, I mean, that's fine. I don't think that he has to come from a dream realm. I think you can. I don't think that you need to like invent more ways for him to enter the story. I think that he's fine just fucking like walking on and being like, it's Mortal Kombat. Look at me.
Yeah.
I'm in. That's fine. Does
So,
that answer the question?
I believe so. Appreciate the question, Henry.
Yep. Thank you, Henry. Savitar asked, actually, Temp and Jenga question for the shrine. Pronounce ire. I just did.
I think it's supposed to be pronounced air.
Okay.
It's the is it the Gaelic word for Ireland?
Is it?
I think that's what they said, but I'm not sure if that's correct.
Well,
but we
I'm
did
sure
our
that we'll
best.
find out
Sorry.
in the comments, and in PMs, and in the etceteras, which is fine. Bring it. This guy owes me a run back. Like seriously, it's okay. Listen,
I'm down. I'll watch.
I'll watch too. I'll watch and God. Okay. Chrome asked, thank you, Evan. Tier wise, what's the current situation in 11? What the hell? That's a giant question, Chrome.
Jackie, Joker, Lou.
That's correct.
Randy's comments in the fucking chat. I just read
God.
that. Good box as well. I just saw that as well.
Damn, a Fire Realm sounds pretty tight. Oh shit, you guys are going off. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get distracted if I keep reading that. Sea Realm? What? Where'd he go? I missed it. I fucked it up. I lost my place. I lost count.
Oh, so we answered Carl's question, right? I think we agreed on that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, appreciate the question, Chrome. That's
Okay,
a big
yeah,
question,
okay, there we
but
are.
I think those three characters kind of sum it up, right?
Car asked. Yeah, go
What's
for
up?
it.
If the Crypt guy was DLC in MK11, what would you name him?
What would you name him, Tim?
This is the jump scare guy, right?
No, this is the guy that you play in the crypt.
Oh, I named him Rain.
Did you?
No, that's what I would name him.
Oh, I named him
exactly
Hornbuckle.
like Rain.
I want him to be Hornbuckle.
No, I think we can do better with Hornbuckle.
Hornbuckle can do better. It was funny that we see him dead in the Aftermath DLC. That legit was a thing. Hold on. But yeah, that answers that question. Thanks, Car.
Yeah, appreciate it, dude.
Gab asked, with the recent Jackie Ban talk going on, which we covered, how about a fun question? If you guys hosted a major with MK9, Injustice Gods Among Us, MKX, Injustice 2, and MK11, and you had to ban one character from each game, who would you pick and why? That's an interesting question. Who would you ban from Mortal Kombat 9, Tim? You had to ban one character.
People are not going to agree with my answer, but
Do
I
it.
stand by this to the very fiber of my being. I would ban MK9 Sonya.
I was gonna say Sonya.
Sonya is fucking stupid as hell in that game. Even if she's technically not the best, I hate fighting that character. Like with Cabal, if I pick Smoke, I have a game plan against Cabal, even if that character's super unfair. Cyrax, if I play my neutral right and I save my meter, oh, I can. As long as I get my reset down, I feel like I can hold up against Cyrax. Sonya, I'm just constantly trying to catch my breath because that character can do so much dumb shit. And once you're blocking, you never know when it's time to stop blocking because she has so much bullshit in that game. Yeah, so Sonya. Definitely Sonya for that game.
Unfortunately, I would agree. For the reasons that Tim said, but also because I just hate fucking seeing her do combos because the physics look so shitty. Whenever she's like popping you up and you have to like flip around weird and she's doing all this bullshit in her shit, it looks so bad. It just looks like trash. Just get out of here, man. And she looks bad in that game anyway. And it just fucking there's like look, I don't need another reason to get her out of the game. Get her out of the ban Sonya Mortal Kombat 9. Get out of here.
This is going to sound controversial, but I really believe what I'm about to say.
Okay.
I honestly think if MK9 had 2 more years of competitive play and more time for the game to develop, I honestly think Kenshi would have gone down 2 slots. I don't think Kenshi was number 3 in the game when everything was said and done. Because with the dash block, like, obviously his footsies are incredible. Or his anti-footsies, really, but I think Kenshi was going to get found out eventually. I think he would have always been top 5. I don't think he would have been top 3 anymore. I think he was going to go down.
Which still, like, I mean, still really fucking good. Really good.
Yeah. I
But
think the fundamentals of MK are strong enough where you can deal, though. I think everyone can sort of hang against Kenshi if they block correctly and they dash correctly.
unless you're Sub-Zero.
Yeah. Well, that brings me to in my MKX choice. I would ban I would ban Grandmaster Sub-Zero. That's who I would ban. Like, because he straight up just shuts down certain variations of the game.
Did you skip Injustice Gods Among Us?
Oh, is that on there?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's tough, man.
That is tough because my knee-jerk reaction says Martian Manhunter because he was bullshit. But he's also a really sick character. I love
Yeah,
Martian
that's my thing, too. Like, if I'm being honest, it probably should be Batgirl. But I like that character, though, right? So,
I mean, I feel like Martian Manhunter is way more fucked up than Batgirl.
yeah, I agree.
He's crazy, dude. He's crazy. But I love Martian Manhunter. So, maybe we should ban Zatanna.
I mean, if we're going to go with a non-top tier, I'm going to pick Doomsday. Like, fuck Doomsday, man.
God, Doomsday is an interesting character.
Yeah.
He is interesting as fuck, but man, is he annoying to fight.
I gotta follow my conscience. I gotta say Batgirl. I really think they did a good job on her too, but she's the only answer in my opinion.
If I do have to answer like 100% like who I think is actually the character that needs banning the most in that game, I would say Martian Manhunter. I would have
Martian's a good choice in my opinion.
MKX. Who did you say?
Grandmaster.
You say Grandmaster? You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because he just straight up 10-0s some variations.
Dude.
Like, there's like Cryomancer cannot do anything good. Like, Ermac is honestly probably like a top 3 character in that game, and no one talks about it. But like, I can play a neutral game against Ermac. I cannot do shit with Cryomancer against Grandmaster. That is a 10-0 matchup. If Grandmaster plays perfectly, I literally need meter to get a knockdown. And once I get that knockdown, I throw you away and I have no Okazemi. And when I do get Okazemi, it doesn't matter. It's still a guessing game. Once you build any distance, you can literally chip me out. It's the dumbest bullshit. Fucking, I'm going to lose my voice when you're talking about this.
I mean,
Grandmaster, you see.
Dude, there's an alien in that game.
I think Alien was nerfed enough to the point where, although still very good, I'm not really worried about her.
I mean, I don't know. It's been so long.
Is that your choice, though? Do you pick Alien?
It's been so long since I've played MKX that, like, I've played Injustice 1 more recent than that. It's of all these games, that's the one that I've played the least recently. But, I mean, if I'm gonna think about MKX, I'm gonna think about fuck a character, I'm gonna think fuck Alien.
That's
So,
fair.
so fuck Alien. What about Injustice 2? I think Injustice 2 is relatively balanced. Um, in a similar way as Mortal Kombat 11, but if I have to ban a character from Injustice 2,
Yeah, that's really hard, but I think I have an answer for that.
who you got?
I might say the Atom, believe it or not. I hate fighting that character.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, the Atom is such bullshit. Uh, the Atom is so bullshit. Bullshit from the ground up. Um,
I realize he's not the best in the game. Like, that's absolutely not the case, but I don't like how he approaches the meta, though. I think one problem I have with Injustice is there's a lot of character designs I feel like just should not be. They should not exist in that game. Um, I don't know. Scarecrow might be a close second, though.
I would
Man,
not
I'm
ban
not
Scarecrow at all. Dude, Scarecrow is so sick.
That character's fucking ridiculous, dude.
He is ridiculous, but I don't think that he's. But I think that he's fair enough in Injustice. I think he's plenty fair enough. He's a
I don't
character
know.
that every time, even like
And
the hardest,
grab and zoning, I don't know, man.
even
And
like
the teleport on top of all that.
even the best Scarecrows I ever went up against, when I got bodied, and which happened quite frequently, I was like, wow, like this is really interesting to watch and figure out. Like it's one of those situations. Bane's dirty.
Yeah, I actually hate Bane more in IJ1 than I do IJ2, but even though I say I hate, but I actually love playing Bane in IJ1. I'm going to stick with my answer and say the Atom.
Okay, you can say that. I'm not going to say Starfire, even though, like,
Starfire's fucking sick.
I hate Starfire so much. I hate Starfire. I hate her.
But if you have to have a top tier, man, is she interesting. God, she is interesting.
Man, dude, fuck that interesting. She's pew pew as fuck all day.
Man, her
DP pew
animations are
pew and
beautiful,
all this
though.
bullshit.
Like that's the difference. Like when you have a top tier like Joker and MK11, it's a bro with a cane, right? Like Starfire had like Marvel beams. That's tight, man. That's fucking sick.
Listen, I understand why you like Starfire. Them thighs are out.
I resent the implication of that comment, sir.
If I have to ban someone, though, it's not going to be her. It's going to be... It would have to be someone that I'm probably forgetting right now, but the Atom is really up there, because I don't like the way he fucking does anything in that game. I don't like the way... Just fuck the Atom. Fuck the Atom. He's out of the game. Okay. I like Scarecrow. Leave Scarecrow alone.
Who's your choice for MK11?
Oh my god.
I mean Jackie. That's
I mean,
like I don't even want to say anything more than that. I've said all I've ever wanted to say about Jackie.
if I can ban someone, like for me personally, because I do not fight that many Jackies, even when I'm playing like any mode, any way that I'm playing in the game, any manner, I don't play that many Jackies. I run into her, but not that much. For me personally, if I was going to ban a character, I might ban someone. I would probably ban like a Liu Kang or a Joker before her.
I think banning Joker's a good choice. I wouldn't fault anyone for saying Joker.
I mean, it's just not interesting to me. And fuck, I could say the same thing about Scorpion. I probably would have earlier in the game. But, I mean, Scorpion's not. He's just annoying. That's what I'm fucking talking about. And the Joker is too. But I would say Joker over her. I think we did it.
Yeah, no, that's a really good question, Gab. Appreciate it, dude.
It was. I like that one.
I like the controversial questions. I like the questions where we disagree.
It is.
Those are the best ones.
That was like a dig-in type one. Like, I'm gonna get blown up. Savitar asks, is the talk of banning Jackie the final pussification, quote, of a scene that took MK9, Cabal, and Cyrax on the chin? We talked about this. I think that we've covered this.
Yeah, I don't think it's a pussification so much as people are just unhappy. And and Jackie's getting like, is becoming the poster of that because she's so difficult to fight. It's also how fighting a character makes you feel, right? Even though Joker I don't think he's better, but he might, in theory, be better than Jackie. At least her other two variations. Like, I feel like I'm playing the game against Joker. I don't feel like I'm playing the game against Jackie. And well, he uses MK9 Cabal and Cyrax. I don't know if we were recording when I said this because we said we had a bit of a break, but like Cyrax, we didn't really know how bad Cabal was until near the end of the run for MK9, and no one like was able to make Cyrax work until like 2013. No one was really able to consistently do the 100% until that point. So I don't think the MK9 comparison is fair. But that's all I really to say about that.
My chair is breaking live. Okay. All right. Let's keep it together. I agree with everything Tim said. That's my answer.
Fair enough.
Thanks for the question, Evan.
Thanks.
You would have to know way more about the Capcom Cup than I do, so maybe you should do this question.
Yeah, absolutely. I know a lot about this actually. With IDOM already having a spot locked for Capcom Cup, do you think he should be allowed to enter these other CPT events to gatekeep people? No, as a absolute, I am not against previous champions entering new tournaments when they've already qualified. In this case, I'm hesitant to let IDOM compete because, well, for one, he's already secured a spot, but the reason why you can't treat that as an absolute is people still need to make a living. People still need to eat. The thing is, IDOM made, like, I don't remember how much, but it was 6 digits. So he's good for at least the next 2 years, at least, unless he, like, buys a ton of socks or something, right? Which I think he said he was going to do. That's a real reference, by the way.
I believe you.
I don't know if this happened when Aramon wrote this question, but at that tournament, IDOM made it to, I think, losers semis, and he rage quitted after getting bodied by a Vega. This is an online tournament, by the way, because of COVID. He disconnected and tweeted, "I will not be participating in the tournament anymore because I can't remember his name, because this Vega player's connection is ass." Man, I wish I could remember his name. Randy, put it in the chat if you know it. And that looked really bad.
Damn.
Because IDOM, like, I have a lot of respect for you, dude. No one thought you were going to win Capcom Cup with Laura and fucking Poison. I think he's, like, one of the funnest. He's also, like, well, I'll save that for after the show, but his costume choice is interesting. Let's leave it at that, right? So, considering the 2 characters he plays. However, you don't get to do shit like that when you know that their code is bad going into the tournament, right?
Yeah.
It's like he said he had the person he rage quitted against on his existing blacklist. I'm like, but you knew he was in the bracket, right? So it's a really bad look for IDOM. In this case, I don't think he should be allowed just because he already made 6 digits on Capcom Cup, and he already, by him winning, he just gets more money and a redundant qualification. I think it's better for the community if people like that are not allowed to enter. Because really, who does it help? Like, in theory, it could put a little bit more money in IDOM's pocket. Okay, now let me devil's advocate myself, right? If IDOM was here, what he might say is, listen, you piece of shit, maybe I have enough money where I can justify not competing, and maybe I'm already qualified, but when I get to Capcom Cup 2020, I need to know how to fucking play the game. I need to know what these people are doing. I need to know what they're doing in tournament. I need to know what their strats are. I need to be able to actually experience matchups against the best 8 players of each tournament. So why on earth should I be allowed to handicap myself, or should I be forced to handicap myself just because I'm already financially qualified and competitively qualified? That's a very fair argument, imaginary IDOM. Thank you for bringing that to the table. I do not have a good counter argument against that. That's a fair point. So,
I mean, it still kind of sounds like a bitch, though. Like, just from what I'm hearing, like, you know, that's it sucks, but you entered an online tournament, dog.
Yeah, the rage quit is a bad look. In my opinion, if he competed and then lost fair and square to the Vega player, then I'd be like, I mean, the dude is a professional player. We can't fault him for playing professionally. But after that, that's a really bad look, especially after all the people he gatekept, right? So those are my thoughts on that. I mean, there's really good arguments on both sides, right? And to counter-argument my counter-argument,
oh, God,
there's other way to think of experience. There's no reason in the world he cannot play those other players after the online tournament's over, right? So, gosh, that's going to bother me, man, but...
You
Hold on,
alright?
what is the name of that? No, no, I'm not alright. Um,
Street Fighter V netcode is ass, but I mean,
Metro M's. So it was very close to Mike Metroid Armand, but it was Metro M. That was the really talented Vega player. Like, you can say it was a bad connection, but he was doing smart shit, man. That was a great match. I'm glad I saw that live. So, I'm sorry, go on, Django.
no, I forgot what I was saying. You're right.
Thanks for the question, though, dude. That's a super good question.
And Sevatar asked, following up on Max's bullshit talk, explain precisely what Mortal Kombat 11's bullshit is and why Strike Throw, aside from Breakaway, which we all know.
I mean, Breakaway is the big one, but I think even bigger than Throw Strike. I don't even think Throw Strike is a bad thing when other aspects of your game are balanced around it. But the reason why Throw Strike is good, Throw Strike was in all the other fighting games technically, right? I mean, Sub-Zero could do a back 3 throw, right?
Sure.
That was a thing.
Yeah.
However, it's they nerfed all the things around Throw Strike. That's the real problem. Other games have great. Also, staggers put you at a throw range, which is not true of like Street Fighter V in every case, right? You have to do a micro walk to get the throw spacing in Street Fighter V. So there's ways to fix that and have really good staggers.
MK11 also has fucking throw mix-ups though, so it's all this like extra bullshit that makes those moves good and other moves not as good as those moves. So you just see those moves a lot because they're good.
Yeah, no, 100%, right? But if you're gonna ask me what is MK11's true bullshit, it's being able to jump kick for free. That's the real bullshit in my opinion, and be able to get good conversions off jump kicks.
I mean, for me, it would be that thing that I said. I feel like there's so many things in the game that let you exit the game, to kind of reset the situation, and there's and things like that are like breakaways and fatal blows. And there's so much of those things like in the game that are squirreled away fucking here and there, like all the. And I'm counting the guessing games in a lot of that, because that's not a game that goes into another thing. Like, you know, you can argue that back and forth, whatever, but it's bullshit. It is bullshit. It absolutely is, and just continuing to add more on top of it, like Shiva's dumbass fucking stomp where you can control the fucking placement she's gonna land and whatnot. It's like. There's fucking guessing games on top of guessing games on top of guessing games already in this game, with escape plans from the actual game as well. Like, the game does not need all this bullshit to get you out of playing the game, because then no one's playing the fucking game. Because you don't have to, and it's not advantageous to either. So, there's a million ways for the developers are giving you to not have to play their game. Just do this. Whatever. Doesn't matter. You don't have to play the game. There's no consequences. Here you go. Do this thing. Do a breakaway. Do a fatal blow. Fuck it.
I think Soul Calibur had a good answer to this. Soul Calibur made all the characters fucking busted, but they put in a universal defensive mechanic that on hard read you get full combo. I think that's a great solution in my opinion. I know people hate Reversal Edge, but in my opinion, it's like breakaway done right. And it happens before the combo's initiated, so the person doesn't lose their setup. At least in theory, they don't. But yeah, I think that's a good solution to something like that.
I'll have to take your word for it.
Yeah, no, that's a good question, dude. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Armon asked, would you guys be for or against Mortal Kombat having no chip block damage on normals like older Street Fighter games did?
No, absolutely not. Like, that's... Again, I think one of the worst things they did in MKX was reduce chip damage. I think chip damage is so important to the meta.
Man, I remember Mortal Kombat 9 Johnny.
Yeah, it was great.
Was it? Yeah, it was still fun because I had an ice clone to like kind of deal with that fucking shit.
I would nerf it from like he got 6% just for he got more than he would have gotten for just like a normal hit, like just for blocking his forward 3-3 back 3. I would change it to 4% instead of 6%. 6% feels like a lot. That's like 8% if you get staggers in there, right? Assuming you don't get the full conversion. So, but staggers also built meter in MK9. So, yeah, I feel like chip is so imperative to offense in Mortal Kombat. I'm a big fan of it. It's one of the few things that makes our game unique as well.
I actually agree, and I've always thought about that about chip damage in Mortal Kombat. I think that that is a good a good series hallmark, and should stick around even when I'm getting my ass kicked by it, which is often. But I mean, yeah, it's a good question, and it's a good thing to consider. And you know, the devs should always consider it a lot with every fucking video game that they're working on to get it right, to do it, but to do it right.
And to further answer Armand's question, it creates an alternative form of offense, right? The thing about staggers in Street Fighter V is they're only good for opening up the other character and for building meter. That's all they're good for, right? Like, you can build in MK9 at least, you can build a strategy on chip damage. So even though the throw game is there, you don't have to do the throw game. You have another viable way of maintaining your life lead and, you know, reaping the benefits from that, right? So I would say, and also, like, Tekken has its own form of chip damage. Like, lows, like unreactable lows are considered like chip damage in Tekken. Like, it's the same philosophy. It's a low risk attack, and it if you take away chip damage, it's low risk, but it's not really an attack or anything. It's just conditioning, and that's all you get from it. And I feel like that's what made Mortal Kombat's offense a lot more interesting, right? Like, that's why I think Johnny's one of the most beloved characters in NetherRealm history, because he's so fun. Because even if they're blocking all day, like, you can still reap the benefits of that, and that is enjoyable. I feel like if chip damage was better in MK11, the throw meta wouldn't be so diluted, right? So that's my opinion, at least.
Yeah. I kind of want to delete my question because we've answered it already, ad nauseum, in my opinion. It's funny that I asked one to begin with. Did you just ask yourself a question? Yes, is the answer to that question, Savitar. Legitimate question. For the entertainment of everyone, help me in my study of American accents, amp up your natural accents up to 11. Well, Tim does not have a natural one to amp up.
Yeah, I was born in a metropolitan region. I don't have a genuine Texas accent.
And I'm not going to. For one thing, it's actually really hard for me to flip the switch and do it and turn it on, because I'll start fucking doing something stupid. But if I get it's one of those things where if I get around like some family members or someone else, like a friend or something that has an Arkansas accent, it'll just fucking go way up, and I won't even realize it, and it's over. It's a mess.
I have some Texas friends who have the same problem. Texas has different accents depending on what region of Texas you're in.
Yeah.
And the two people who have the hardest time hiding it are North Texas, that's like Potts region, right? And East Texas, which is like everything on the eastern hemisphere of Houston. And it's actually very, very akin to the Arkansas accent. So.
It does come. Pot's right in the chat. It does come out sometimes whenever I get flustered or I'm talking about some shit. I'll start putting in a few extra syllables into something, and it'll get not good. Hey, but yeah, that's all you're gonna get, Seb.
Appreciate the question, though, dude. It's an interesting question. For sure.
I love accents. I love accents. I think accents are interesting. Very interesting. Fuck, where did that go? Okay, here it is. The Gab Standard asks, it might be me, but in recent years it seems the amount of tech/strategies in fighting games has been heavily decreasing, or at least not as visible. Which do you think is a bigger factor towards this? Fighting games being more simple to attract a bigger audience, or the way communication has now changed? Death of forums, rise of social media. What do you think, Tim? It's an interesting question.
I think simplicity has a lot to do with it. I think the reason why we see in Street Fighter 4, we had this whole culture of tech, as opposed to Street Fighter 5, where it's just a bunch of people on a Discord saying, bro, take the throw. The difference is that a lot of the option selects have been removed. And the games, I don't know if the games are simpler, but I think they are way more transparent now. It's a lot more obvious what's good and what's bad. And across all games, MK11, Street Fighter 5, I'll even put Guilty Gear Strive in there to an extent. Just because they took away a lot of the combo options, right? So, even Tekken, like, I think Tekken, like, tech is just not as important because I feel like fundamental tools have gotten so strong in Tekken 7. You have Kazumi, which is this really elaborate character with all these cool options, and then you watch a tournament match, and it's just a dude doing down forward one over and over again, right? And her best low to sort of complement that. I just think fundamental options have gotten better, and games have become a lot more transparent. Back when option selects kind of ruled the world, and they did for a long time, I think a lot of those like Illuminati tech circles were a lot more necessary, right? That's my thought. The death of forums, in a weird way, I think the death of forums kind of led to the resurrection of forums. I feel like the Discord is just the new forums, right? I think the problem with forums, there's so many now. Like for Mortal Kombat, it was TYM, MKO, and TRMK, right? Those are your three forums.
Those are the ones.
Now there's a billion Discords. What's that?
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm agreeing.
So there may be like tech Illuminati circles out there we just don't know about. But I think games are more transparent. I think simple might be the wrong word. Even if
Discord techs, dude. The Discord tech. You've all heard about the Discord tech.
It's also getting a lot harder to hide tech these days because
dude, that used to be hype though, right? Someone would show up to tournament with some new shit ain't nobody ever seen before.
That happened in a big way in Evo 2000. I think Evo 2009. Like this Sakura made like top 16, and it was just the craziest shit. Like there was oh man, you'd have to see the clip.
What was
it was the
where was
corner
it?
side switch I've ever seen in my life.
Where was it? Was it Evo? Was it a major? No, it's tournament.
Oh, Evo. Yeah.
Oh, it was Evo. Okay. Street Fighter 4? Street Fighter 4 was
got an invite from Randy. I joined. Sick.
I think that we answered that, right? You did. I think you would know about that much better than me, anyway.
Gab always has really good questions.
He does.
And although we only heard from Cartoothallow once today, I feel like his questions are usually pretty good too.
They are.
Everyone has good questions.
It doesn't sound that way to him.
But like,
sounds like you're picking out the ones that are really good.
Gab. Like Gab always has really good shit.
God damn it, Randy. No, it's okay. Seb asks, what do you consider the coolest looking taunt, be it mid-fight or mid-round in fighting game history? I'm hugely partial to Brian Fury's feint into a mocking laugh. I believe it's called a jet upper, but I'm not sure because, unlike 99% of Tekken players, I have had sex. That does sound like an Evan question.
Says the guy nerding out about taunts.
Yes. Indeed. And asking for fucking... Never mind. I want never mind. No.
Oh, one of our chat members just crashed out. Night, Dr. Medic. Thanks for joining us, dude.
Yeah, thanks for hanging, dude. I know you got a favorite taunt. What's your favorite taunt?
I don't actually. I think all the mid-round animations from Dizzy are probably my favorite for Guilty Gear. Okay. And that's all I got, to be honest with you, man. I've never been a fan of taunts, to tell you the truth.
I mean, yeah, and mid-rounds definitely count.
Maybe if we're adding win poses to that,
okay,
maybe
sure.
MK9 Smoke win poses up there. I really like that one.
That one is good. I mean, yeah, if you're gonna add that, then like MK9 Noob is also fucking sick, right? Like the Power Rangers, dude. But when I think taunts, like, I think there's two that come to mind that I like the most. One is because it's so stupid, but it cracks my shit up. Is Mortal Kombat 11 Sub-Zero when he says ability to freeze. I love that shit because it's so stupid. But like
Kung Lao has some really good ones as well. Some mid-round taunts, like his little swirly one might be actually number 2 for me after all the Dizzy shit.
His swirly one, what does he do?
He does like that sort of like kung fu dance backwards to reset the mid-range. It's super cool.
I'm sure I've seen it a billion times and I'm not thinking about it because...
Well, he has like a million of them too, so yeah. It's which one did you see, right?
God, ability to freeze, dude. It's so sick. But like right under that is I mean, it's not creative, but I gotta sit the Dudley Rose throw. Like,
Yeah, that's a good
I
one.
mean, it's sick. It's Dudley. Come on. Gutter trash. It's a good question though. I like that one. Evan, he's gonna ask another one.
Hey,
Django. Seven. Sevatar. Does it bother you that your official MK11 record? I need to read these first. Does it bother you that your official Mortal Kombat 11 record against me, main v main, is 0-6? I like your use of the word official. I think official is very interesting there. Because, I mean, we know we've had other sets that were not on stream and they were not in a tournament setting. And were not under the insane lag conditions of today, which were fucking ridiculous. I think the way that I feel about that, or if it bothers me or not, is very plain. I think that you can hear that from everything that I just said. Man. Okay. Temp, does it bother you that no one outside of you, me, and D4 will ever know the glory of Django Salt when he lost that third time on stream?
I mean, that goes for everyone's Salt, to be honest with you. It's very rare, right? It's like an albino crocodile. But when Down 4 actually gets salty, it's like the funniest thing you'll ever see, right? Like, it's hilarious.
Dude! D4
Like,
is pretty funny when he gets salty. I'll go out there right now. I'll go out there. It is pretty tight.
Yeah, like I like watching everyone get salty, right? Like everyone's Salt is funny to me, and I think Salt is really healthy because it shows you care about the game.
I would agree. And I was hella salty today, so that counts. It was a complete freak accident that my mic was muted for those three. Like that was
Also funny, very very funny.
but like these guys could hear me, so it was just on the stream. Like so the stream it won't be there in the stream, and I'm gonna upload that stream to the Nethercast channel because fuck it, why not? It's fun, right? And also because of the big finish. But yeah, like the stream won't hear me going off for a little while there because I didn't know that my mic was muted for the OBS, the fucking stream shit. But man, was I pissed. I was so pissed.
It was great. I laughed.
God.
Thank you for the question, Evan.
But everyone
Thank
definitely
you for being
did.
you.
Yeah, really. Thank you for being a friend, bitch. Everyone definitely did hear all the ducking you did after that. You were just fucking ducking like Neo, dude. You were just dodging every fucking challenge attempt. Everyone saw that shit and heard it. And that's going up. Thanks, Evan. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, brother.
And Shad. Man, I can't believe we got through all of these. Isn't that sick? That's always the sickest feeling.
I feel like we kept a good pace today.
We did.
I think we were worn out from all the sexual like abuse conversation that
Yeah.
we were just kind of running through these.
And it's Shad, finishing strong, asks, are you both surprised that a lore guy can kinda hang?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Chad has been playing Mortal Kombat for almost 30 years. Like, he knows the general game. So he should be proud of those victories.
And I'm really happy, even though like he lost that last one to me. He hit me with the brutal. No, I am super fucking enjoying the fact that Chad's feeling himself right here.
Yeah, he should.
That's really fucking cool. And
it's also a good reminder to everyone that we are not on some plateau. Even if you get bodied by me in a set, I promise you, I played Costner. I mentioned this on another Warrior Shrine. I played Costner about a year ago, and he fucked me up so unbelievably badly. I don't think I took a single match. So like, there's always a bigger fish, guys, right? So don't ever think like we are these. I don't think anyone does think we are these gods of fighting games, but like,
No one thinks that
we're
about
not.
me. That's
Yeah,
definitely true.
I don't think that about myself. Not even close. If I mean, Down Four, in my opinion, is the most talented person we have on this Discord. Not counting the pro players who sometimes visit the Discord.
Which pro players?
Costner was the only one that comes to mind, but I imagine, like, by probability, there's probably at least one more.
Probably, yeah. At least.
Gab is also way up there, too. I consider Gab, like, at least as far as Mortal Kombat and Justice go, yeah, that dude's super fucking good. Gab is no joke.
I have heard a lot about Gab. I never went up against him. I didn't get matched up with him in that tournament that we did either. So I never went up against him. I hear he's good.
He is very good.
Both you and D4 have told me that, which is saying something. But no, yeah. Neither of us surprised that you can hang, and you should hang again soon. I mean, Tim's not going to hang again soon, but
It'll be a long while. Yeah.
But you know, but that was also still a really good like exchange of like that game still does have fucking fun to be had, and I had a lot of fun playing Shad in all of our matches, and me and Pot and D4 play quite a bit still, and I mean Pot plays a fucking lot, but we still jump in there. I mean King of the Hill and whatnot, and yeah, I want to see Shad in there again. I hope he does. It was fun, and I'm glad that you had fun too. That's the best part.
Like me?
Well,
Or Shad?
I don't know if you had fun. I know that Shad had fun.
I'd say I had fun like 70% of the time.
Well, I mean,
But
that's
my Celtics matches, to be honest with you, were against you, to be honest with you, man.
why were they against me?
Sub-Zero just brings out a different part of me, right?
I hear that. I don't understand why. I don't know why people say this about my sub. I'm just playing. I'm just trying to play the game.
No, that's fair. I hope you keep playing it. I hope.
Do you?
Oh, we have one more question, actually, from X17X2X Wild X.
What?
I have a question for Temp or anyone who loves MK9. I take issue with the staggers in this game too, but MK9 was just as stagger heavy, if not more so. But what made MK9 neutral and stagger pressure so much more fun and rewarding to deal with? I can't figure it out, lol, and I loved it. I feel like MK9 just had many neutral breakers, but they didn't feel as dominating. Maybe it was the dash blocking. I really can't pinpoint it. We'll break this up, right? So, even though MK9 did have staggers, I would argue it was on a much lower scale. Like Cyrax had his 2-1 staggers. Sub-Zero had his 2-1 staggers as well, actually. Smoke had down 1 pressure, where he down 1, dash down 1, dash down 1, and then he would use the Soda Smoke trap. So they were certainly there. I would argue they're a little more prominent in MK11. But like I said earlier, I think one reason why they were fun in MK9 and they're not fun in MK11 is because A, staggers built meter in MK9. So it wasn't just about opening up the opponent. It was about getting decent chip damage. It was about building decent meter. And that dichotomy really made offense interesting. Like, you did have mix-ups in MK9, but I didn't do mix-ups really on block. I did mix-ups after a successful down 4. Right? That was kind of more my mix-up mentality. So I feel like that's a big reason right there. But another reason is because everything around the stagger game in MK11 has been nerfed. Like, chip damage has been nerfed. Meter gain is redundant because you get meter regardless of what you do. So that's not an issue anymore. Mix-ups are questionable. Like, the throw is kind of taking the place of the mix-up. So that's why I think staggers have been ruined by the throw game. In Tekken, like, staggers, like, they're there, but they're not super encouraged. You're better off playing a strong neutral than you are staggering in Tekken. If you do stagger, it's more to set up your lows, but that is your chip damage in Tekken, right? So, that would be my answer to that. But I don't know. I actually like stagger heavy games. I just feel like MK11 did it wrong. But I was happy to see staggers in the game. I thought it was super cool. Did you want to add anything to that, Jingo?
No, I think you're right, and I think I had. Well, I mean, I know I had more fun with it because I had an ice clone in Mortal Kombat 9. And fuck, does that make a giant difference, dude? Whenever I'm playing against your Kung Lao in Mortal Kombat 11 with no ice clone, I mean, yeah, it kind of feels like I'm playing against your Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat 9 without an ice clone, which that doesn't sound fun at all.
I don't know. Even with the ice clone, sub was questionable in that
Oh
game,
yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely, he definitely was. No doubt there.
I think there's ways to bring back the ice clone and make it not ridiculous, but
There absolutely is. Yeah, that's not even a question. They just don't want to.
I think Injustice 2 was almost there, but even in that game, the ice clone is fucking dumb.
Well, yeah, because you can do two of them, but that wasn't that actually that bad. That usually wasn't a great use of your meter. You could do two of them back to back, but no, wait. Well, you would meter burn it. Yeah, that's what you would do. But that still wasn't a great use of meter. But it looked cool, right? It did look really cool.
Yeah, no, that is true.
But that's all. Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate the question, dude. I think that is going to cover the show. I think that's all we got for today.
That's all we got. So if there's nothing else, Tim, you good?
I'm not just good. I am exhausted, man. I think Sevatar's birthday stream combined with doing the show,
Yeah.
like I am having like massive adrenaline dump. Like I am wiped out, man.
Yeah. Same here.
Also, just talking about all sorts of dark, horrible shit for 30 minutes probably took its toll as well.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody, though, and thanks for hanging out with us in the chat.
Yeah, thank you for everything, guys.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
No.